Hey everybody, it's Dr. Brian McCarley here from Genesis Family Chiropractic. Hey, just wanted to shoot a quick video. I was looking at some information for a new patient, and some topics around bone density came up. And I know this is a hot topic for a lot of people, especially women who may be approaching menopause or have already passed through menopause, but not just menopausal or postmenopausal. Most women have an interest in this, and to a certain degree, some guys. So let's jump right in here. We're going to talk a little bit about bone density. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a lesson on cellular activity and what some of the drugs that are being used to treat osteoporosis are doing, and how that may be counterproductive to what we're trying to do, and there may be a better way. So, okay, let's jump in here. All right, so bone density. What are we talking about when we talk about bone density? It's important for you to understand that when we talk about your bones, most of us just think of our bones as just this static, hard stuff. But the reality is your bones are living tissue, okay? There are specific cells that are responsible for maintaining the health of your bones, all right? They're not just these hard things. They are very hard. But when we look at an x-ray, for example, what we're seeing on the x-ray is not the cells themselves. What we're seeing is what's called the mineral structure, okay? That's the calcium, the phosphorus, all of those things that make up the crystalline structure of those bones. And that's what makes them hard and gives them their stiffness, but also their flexibility. Right? In forming those bones, there are two classes, basically. There are some others too, but the two main classes of cells that are responsible for maintaining the health of your bones are osteoblasts and osteoclasts. All right? I'm going to write that up here real quick. I'm going to write this osteoporosis up here first. Osteoporosis, which is a big fancy word. Just basically means that your bones have gotten a little brittle, or they've gotten a little weak, and they've started forming pores because of the crystalline structure is not being maintained properly. All right. Okay. So osteoblasts. Let's do osteoclasts in red, since that's the one I opened first. Osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Like we said, osteoblasts. These are the two main cell types that are active in maintaining your bone health. There's some others too, but they're minor players in based on what we're going to be talking about here. Here's the way this works. All right, the osteoblasts are primarily responsible for building new bone tissue, this new crystalline structure, the stuff we see on X-rays, the hard stuff, right, and forming things in nice symmetrical crystals that have good long lines and parallel lines, and they're good and strong that way, and also flexible. Okay, they're not brittle. The osteoclasts, on the other hand, they're responsible for taking some of that crystalline structure that's already there, and maybe it's become damaged, or it's been in that formation for a while, and the stresses on your body have changed. And so they actually go in and they break down some of that crystalline structure to free up that calcium and phosphorus and the other minerals that make up that crystalline structure. So the osteoblasts have some building materials or raw materials to be able to create new, healthy, more healthy structure. All right. So here's what I'm learning. Okay. Particular osteoporosis medications work by knocking these things down. All right. They reduce their ability to do their job, so they're not breaking down bone, which sounds like a good idea, except for one thing. Our ability to break down bone is what creates the ability for the osteoblasts to create new bone. All right. And this one particular drug I was looking at, the drug that does this, that reduces this activity, also reduces this activity because, primarily it sounds like, because there's not enough raw materials for these to use. All right. So over time, your bone structure may not necessarily get a lot worse, but it's not really being healthy, all right, because the osteoblasts are not able to do their job. All right. Now, in the natural world, in terms of the way we work and what we as chiropractors will coach and teach, and this goes true for strength trainers or personal trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, people like that, a lot of times physical therapists too, is one of the things that we know is that strength training or resistance training, where you're using some sort of weight or resistance bands or those kinds of things, creates a situation where it actually stimulates the activity of these. It doesn't decrease the activities of these necessarily, not directly, but it actually stimulates these. There's another study that I was looking at the other day, and it talks about one of the main theories of why this works is something called the piezoelectric effect. All right, and that's a big old fancy word, piezoelectric effect. And this is something that happens in physics and chemistry. And if you've ever rung someone's doorbell, you've experienced the piezoelectric effect, okay? Or if you've ever buzzed a buzzer, an electronic buzzer, you've experienced the piezoelectric effect. But in terms of our bodies, the way this works is if we have a bone, let's say we have a femur, okay? It kind of looks something like this. And I'm a horrible artist, so please don't judge me based on this. Let's call that a femur. It's not really a femur. It's not very good, okay? But let's say this is your hip. Okay, again, I'm not a good artist, but this is your hip, and your knee would be down here, all right? I'm just drawing it this way. As we do strength training, and the muscles, particularly the quadriceps and the hamstrings, line up. They don't all line up straight along the bone. I'm just trying to simplify this as much as possible. Straight along that bone, all right? And where they line up, as we use resistance to increase the load on those muscles have to have something to work against, and they work against this bone. But when it creates that force in the bone, it does slightly, very, very slightly deform that bone. And when I say deform, I don't mean like it's deformed, but it deforms it in the sense that it changes its shape. You can barely see my hands moving here, I think, but it slightly changes the shape of that bone for a moment while it's under load. That change in form creates a little bit of an electrical charge that happens in the crystalline structure of that bone. That electrical charge that's created, very, very small electrical charge, that electrical charge that's created there appears to be part of what stimulates the activity of these osteoblasts, so they create more bone. See the connection? We create force here, creates an electrical charge, stimulates the activity of these bad boys over here, they create more bone, bone gets stronger, right? Okay? That's the way that we believe that strength training actually has this effect of strengthening bones. It doesn't have to go in and diminish the effect of these osteoclasts. Now, there's another side to this. These two types of cells seem to be working pretty well in concert with one another. And here's what I mean by that. It's almost like a seesaw, all right? If you've ever ridden a seesaw with a friend and just had fun, played on the playground equipment, basic, simple idea here is you've got a fulcrum and you got a board like that, all right? And you got a person here. Again, forgive my art. I'm not an artist. You got a person here, all right? And if one of those people is heavier than the other, let's say now this one over here is heavier than this one, this side's going to go down. It appears that to a certain degree, the osteoclasts, let's just put a C for osteoclasts, and the osteoblasts work in kind of the same way. So the more activity you have here, the less activity you have here. The more activity you have here, the less activity you have here. So if we do this kind of stuff here for strength training, we stimulate more of this activity. This side, it puts more stimulation here, kind of pushing this down. And I know it's backwards, but that makes this side go up, which in backwards world, bizarro world, Dr. Brian world, when this side goes down, it means this activity is better or greater. This side goes up, it means there's more, let's say it's suppressing that. Less suppression over here, more suppression over here. So the side that breaks things down is not breaking them down as well. We get new bone formation. This is part of the reason why, especially for our ladies, as they're aging, who don't want to deal with broken hips, the best thing they can do from their daily activities is not just going for a walk, which is great exercise, and it's a great way to start if you're not exercising. But as you get more into it and start doing things, you add some strength training in. Even if it's something as simple as a resistance band or picking up some soup cans that you don't normally pick up. A few light weights. You don't have to be an Olympic weightlifter to get this effect. It's just anything that's above and beyond the normal activities for your day. So I want to hear what questions you have. We're going to get this posted out there on the Facebook page. Obviously, you're already there because you're watching it. But look down here below. There's a place for comments. Like this. Post some comments. Post some questions on there about what we're talking about. What do you want to know about? If you have more advanced questions that are specific to you, give us a call here at the office. Michelle can help you out. We'll get you scheduled for an appointment. We'll sit down and chat a little bit. Please feel free to share this. We'd love to have it shared. We'll let some people know about what I'm learning, which is really kind of cool. I get excited about this, but I'm kind of a nerd. So, hey, have a great day. We hope to hear from you soon, but please make sure and post some questions down here below. Have a good one.